Carlson here, running as the commissioner for versus Josh Brown as a Democrat.
Conservative Democrat.
Conservative
The
Democrat.
difference.
Gotcha. Okay, and we'll start with Ben.
Okay, well, hi, I'm Ben Cleaner. Welcome, glad you came by. First question is, what is the function of local government?
Well, it used to be to serve the people, now it's going to be to serve the government. So, and I've been involved with the government and the building occupation for the last 45, 50 years. And I've seen it change, almost dramatically from private property owners used to be the golden rule, and now we're just the guys that furnish the gold. And, I deal with it every day. And I think that, that's part of the motivation that I have, to help maintain some kind of traditional values and property. That's pretty much most of my thrust, and then try to take care of the inefficiency, the non-accountability, the non-transparency that we seem to have in this county government here. So, is that enough?
It's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hi, Wally. I'm Doris Carrender, and I've got kind of a two-part question. One, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And then would you tell us why you chose to run for this office and what your primary goals are?
Well, I was born in Ellensburg. I came here when I was 3, lived in Bremerton. My dad was a school teacher, and I think we were about 5. We moved out to Tracyton. I went to kindergarten in a log cabin, 2-story school built by the CCCs. And then they built a new school, and I went through all the way through CK High School, got 65. And then I went to Olympic for 2 years, and then I went to Central Washington for 3 years and got a couple BA degrees. And then I taught overseas for a few years. I came back and decided I couldn't teach here. It was too difficult. I didn't have no guts. So I decided to build houses with my dad. We've been building houses in between teaching. And I pretty much stuck with that. And then I got 5 kids. 2 kids we adopted from India, 2 girls. And we just got one 16-year-old left. And I'm holding on with my truck till that guy gets done. He just hit the truck. Everybody's hit that truck till the door finally fell off last summer. And so now the 16-year-old he just hit it last week. So I'm not gonna get a new truck till I'm gonna give him a year. I'm 17, then I'll get another truck, but I'm not even gonna waste my time. No matter where I park in the driveway, they get it. It doesn't matter. It's a big drive. It's a big place, but they managed to find it. So. Anyway, so this building thing, I've always been kind of a private guy. Just built custom houses with towers, sophisticated little things. I draw the plans, we cut the hole, we build it from the foundation up. So it's hands-on all the way, and that's just how we survived. Get our little niche in the program, and over the years it's just become more and more difficult. I mean, if people can't follow their dreams for houses, and I've been doing it for 45 years, and I don't know how to do it anymore. I don't see how anybody could do it. So it's pretty much thwarted that part of the industry and the business, and it's just it's everywhere.
Because of regulations and stuff?
Well, sure, over-regulations, conflicting regulations, interpretation of regulations, stonewalling, just plain losing your stuff. I mean, you name it. You've probably heard the horror stories, one after another, and so that kind of has been tweaking my little nose for a number of years. And so when Tim Botkin I knew when Tim was going to be going out, I wanted to get in, and so I said absolutely not. So I didn't do anything. Next time, I talked wife into it 4 years ago. And this time, she allowed me to get in again this time, reluctantly, with rules. Maybe 9 principles and 12 rules. Maybe it's just 1 rule. Don't bother me with it. So she doesn't like confrontation, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm not a confrontational guy either, but this just got to the point where it's almost patriotic to stand up and complain than it is to just take it. And, but part of my motivation here comes from Mr. Josh himself. And when he and Jack Hamilton are running, already dropped out of the primary. And he and Jack were talking, and it's in the Crimson Sun. Jack said he believed property owners could do the right thing when it comes to their property. And then Josh says, my opponent has said the best stewards of the land are private individuals. This is an asinine statement. You wouldn't trust the oil industry to determine the emission standards. It's impossible to allow private individuals to control public good. Maybe all land should be held in trust for everyone. That would make it easier for the overseers, but it might just run afoul of the federal and state constitution. Of course, that could always be amended. So that's one statement there. If you're a property owner, that should make you spitless. A spitless with a P. So.
Can I borrow that? Do you mind if I make a copy of that? I'm impressed. That's from last time?
Yeah.
Well, it's running against
It's
Jack.
been 4 years, but I haven't noticed,
Wow.
I've seen the same trend.
It's
Interesting.
amazing if somebody can say that.
That's just, just blows you away. And everybody gets that in college, but, you know, I don't mind utopias myself. I don't mind paradise, but, you know, we spent hundreds of years working on this system, and there's people that have their whole investment, their whole life tied up in a little piece of property. And that and whatever spiritual things they got going on, it just doesn't seem right to have somebody that has that mindset, that eventually the goal is to get all the property in the government's control completely. And then I'm not sure what we do then, what the rest of us do, but anyway, it's spooky.
Okay, thank you.
Karen.
Scary.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is James
Yeah.
Calendar, and I'd like to ask you a two-part question here. What are the most critical issues facing our local government today, and how will you contribute to the solution?
It's like Miss America, isn't it? I want world peace. What are the most significant? Give me that first one again, James.
Okay, what are the most critical issues facing our local government today?
Well, it's, you know, there's so many of them, it's just so, but I think the thing is, it has just escaped, it's become the government for the government and the people. The government is the problem, not the solution in a lot of situations. It's a solution in some of the big arenas, but in the little guy in the county, I think the government's got to work for the county, for the people themselves. And the problem is when you move it over to a regional and a state situation, it comes over here and they're giving us stuff like in 2040, they got Seattle Solutions for Kitsap County. And that's, you know, you can't toll roads aren't necessary. This is not ever going to be Seattle. What we have almost here is a biosphere. You got the military putting in money and people live here. If you had this biosphere, we'd just do fine. You know, they can go over to the ferries every once in a while if they can find the scheduling right. But we have a little biosphere, and when they come over, they're just putting things in that don't belong here. And you have people going over and bringing this stuff back to us like it's some kind of gold, and we're supposed to buy it. And it just doesn't fit in. You know, that's what is it, PSRC thing? Well, not everybody belongs to that's on the water. I don't think Thurston's involved with it. You know, San Juan's, all these other people who are hooked up to the Puget Sound are involved in it. And what do we have, a 6% stake or a 3% stake in it? So, I guess, if you took it back to the people, didn't have to, at least we get some voice. And I think you need more than 3 commissioners. You need to cut the price of those guys down to maybe 50 or 60,000 and have 5 of them, but not have a big support staff. So each one of them winds up costing you 150,000. Just give them 50, divide all these little duties up between them, and you know, give everybody a little more of a say. You know, the 3 people is just, it's not enough. Right now you got 3 Democrats. See, that's part of the problem. You got Darryl, my brother Darryl, my other brother Darryl. Really, you're not getting any, there's no give and take. A little bit, but not much. So I think that's the problem in Kitsap County.
What would it take to change that configuration to a 5 member?
I I think very eligible, you have to have so much population, I mean, you know, if you have so many people, I thought we were eligible to do it like 4 years ago. But if you got a little power, why would you want to divide it up? That's what I hear. I'm no expert on government, I'm just a citizen who finds my path thwarted almost at every way I want to go. So, well, how I change it, I get, the thing is, just like this statement by Josh, you got a 65-year-old man makes a statement, you get some credibility if you're 65. If you're 25, you have the freedom of speech. But when you call the 65-year-old guy is in his you know, his lifetime experience, you call him asinine, or even the statement asinine, that goes to the county's culture. It's like, you know, sue us. And that's the key. Reverend Son tried to get the names of names in the towns that people that were public servants lived in, and the county didn't want to give it. So they took them to court, and they won that court-based case, and then they had it appealed, and they won that. Now the county owes them something like $48,000 plus, but they're still appealing it. I think some of the other counties, I think North Mason, no, just Mason County, they gave them the names when Mason wanted it. But anyway, the point is, that's kind of the attitude. And here's the other attitude. We're building a house for a school principal and his wife who teaches school. And they sold their house last fall, and we're working on, the house plan's done, it's over at the county, been there for 5 months, and I send him over there, and before he goes, I say, okay, just remember, they don't care what your problem is, or anything, just, you know, go over there, to see if you can find out some information, so, you know, you're part of the system, you know, we're working with you. So he goes over there, and the first day, he can't get to the right person to find out if his plan's been checked. The second day he goes back, they give him some story. The second day he goes back, and he finally gets to the woman for a few minutes and talks to her, and they say, you know, we can make some progress here if you weren't coming around bothering us all the time. But they don't even tell you that at McDonald's, Colonel Sanders. There isn't any place, and here's a public place. Well, where do you get the guts to say that? Well, it's because it's a culture. The culture is, we're right, you're wrong. And it's, you know, just that alone is enough. I mean, it's just not civil. It's not public servants anymore. It's they have all the rules, and they know the rules, and they make the rules, and, you know, and if you don't like it, we'll change the rules to something else. I mean, I got 45 years of this stuff. How much time we got? You know, it's only worth so much, right? Okay, James.
So
how would I
just
change
to
it?
carry this out a little further, like